Everyone is selfish. Sorry to break it to you, but that's the truth. Now, you'd be quick to point out to me all the selfless people in the world, like soldiers and firefighters or doctors, who dedicate over half their lifetime to serve other people. They're not selfish, right? But hold on for a minute, and let us consider what selfish actually means. It means to be chiefly concerned with one's own interests. With this in mind, I could say that all these selfless people who find joy in being able to help others feel satisfied when they can make others happy. So doesn't that make them selfish too? From the time we were born, we have an innate drive to survive. And so we find ways to fulfill our needs and gain what we want. That's being selfish, right? But the word selfish carries with it a negative connotation. And so we work around it. We come up with terms like mutual benefit, survival instinct, and life skills to patch it up. And sure, we can take a look at it from this point of view. But underlying all these euphemisms is the fundamental human gene of selfishness. Social interaction is essentially built upon when your selfishness complements the selfishness of the people you're working with. This concept is known as the double coincidence of wants. Depending on what each party values, they each get something out of the selfish situation. For instance, customers value the goods of a business more than they value their paper money, while businesses value the money more than the goods they're producing. But yet, out of this whole selfish situation, everyone is happy. I'd like to think of selfishness as being invested in personal aspirations and values. When we're selfish about the things we do, we're motivated to do better, to improve, and to produce better quality work. Now, it's easy to see how this concept applies in the business environment. The selfish desire to earn more profits encourages both workers and businessmen to innovate, to be more productive, and to be more efficient, right? But after reflecting on my experience doing community service, I realized that our selfishness can actually produce selfless deeds. Now, I'm very selfish when it comes to all my endeavors. I'm selfish in the sense that I always want to create with something unique. But then again, who doesn't? Even when it comes to community service, we all want to be the founder of that charity-turned-business organization. We want to be the one who initiated a nationwide movement against poverty. We want to be the trendsetters, the spearheaders, the initiators of some grand project. And because of this selfish desire, we think of more creative ways to become number one. 2 years ago, I started a service project called Forgotten Voices. It's a story compilation of the life stories of elderly folk living in Bina Bakti, a nursing home located in Serpong on the outskirts of Jakarta. So far I've written 2 books, written in English and Indonesian, compiling the stories that the elders there shared with me during my visits. The inspiration for Forgotten Voices came to me because of my long-held desire of writing a book. But I didn't want to just write any book. I wanted the book to tell a different kind of story. Not about those witches and dragons in some faraway lands. But aside from wanting to write a book, I always want to remember things. Anything and everything that I experience. Whether it's my latest vacation to London or a weekend getaway to my father's plantation, I want to remember all these life stories. So the inspirational flashbulb lit up in my head as I recalled my first time visiting Bina Bakti back in 6th grade. I then projected my desires onto the elders there, and thus began the Forgotten Voices journey. Now, in retrospect, it was probably ignorant of me to assume that the elders wanted the same things I did. But I was relieved to find out that they do, in fact, enjoy having someone listen to them on a Saturday afternoon. I was being selfish when I pursued forgotten voices. But in a way, the elders were also being selfish because they wanted someone to listen to them for 3 hours straight, listening to their tales of childhood about how they love baking cakes and about their love story, no matter how repetitive the story got. Now, the real failure of our selfishness is when we go beyond being selfish and we become self-absorbed. An excess of selfishness leads us to becoming self-praising, self-absorbed, and self-indulgent. Now, think about the selfie. We've invested billions and billions of dollars online to share these selfies so that we would feel a slight tinge of fulfillment when someone likes our photo. And it's not even just on one website, no. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, so many platforms to decorate shrine after shrine with photos of ourselves. So then, where's the balance between wanting to be selfless and end up getting self-absorbed? Where do we stop? A philosopher who advocated for being selfish as a way to lead a more fulfilling life is none other than Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche claims that selflessness has no value either in heaven or on earth. So what Nietzsche's trying to argue here is that when we're being selfless, we're deluding ourselves, and we can't truly think about ourselves because we're too busy trying to think for other people. When we try to be selfless, we forget about our priorities and about our values because we're trying to think in other people's shoes, trying to think what they want us to do for them. Instead, when we're being selfish, we're able to show other people what we care about. And if we truly cared about something and we wanted to show other people that we care, then we have to be selfish. Because when we're selfish, we impose our values onto the things that we do or the things that we say. And it is by imposing these values that we show people that these values that we created, these values we stand for, is what makes us care so much about something, like service. So ladies and gentlemen, instead of trying to deny our selfish gene, remember, be selfish. Because by being selfish, we're invested in the things we do. We take ownership, we take pride, and we take accountability over the things that we care about. And to do things for our society, it starts with ourselves. Because if we don't care about ourselves, then how can we care about anything else? Thank you.